Welcome to Aviation Accident Insights. Ever wonder what it's actually like to view a commercial flight from the front office? Today, we are stepping inside a Boeing 737 cockpit to experience an incredible takeoff and landing with EgyptAir, crewed by two highly skilled female pilots.
Welcome to Athens. It was a good flight, a little bit hot outside. So we're gonna do a quick checks back to Cairo. Join us. Pre-flight, please.
Oxygen,
100% my side.
100% my side, navigation transfer and display switches.
Normal and auto.
Window heat,
On.
pressurization mode selector.
Auto.
Check flight instrument and temperature.
Heading is 303, attempted 1012, 3 times.
Check parking brakes.
Set.
Engine levers.
Cut off.
Pre-flight check is complete.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, you can go now.
212, please extend your pushback so as to taxi out via Delta 5. Etihad 63 go.
And once again, I'd like to welcome you all back
We will start off.
to another episode of Aviation Accident Insights. And I'm your host, John Chad.
Your time will be available in the next 2 or 3 minutes.
Roger, thank you very much. Etihad 63 Golf Texas.
We have two female pilots today that we're going to be following
3330.
as we push back from the gate
3330, taxi via Yankee 1, Charlie,
and preparing to taxi to the runway for our takeoff. So sit back, relax, enjoy the flight. Like, share, and subscribe if you like the channel.
One on ground.
Here, the Tian 858.
Tian 858.
Brake set.
And if you ever wonder what your pilot is actually seeing
Normally GT.
as they sit in a bullseye view of the cockpit,
Start out.
then you are in the right place.
Position stabilized. EMA disconnected. Give me signal from the left to right. Goodbye. Bye. Off. Flight control check. Rather right. Neutral. And left. For taxi checklist.
Generators.
On.
Propane.
On.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Isolation bulb.
Auto.
Digital switches.
Continuous. Check.
Auto brake.
RTO.
Engine levers.
Idle test.
Flight controls.
We're going through the
Down to ground equipment.
Down to ground equipment.
takeoff checklist.
Qatari 212, taxi Delta 5 Delta, holding going to 039.
Taxi captain.
Taxi please.
EgyptAir 748, taxi via Delta 4 and Delta, holding point 039. Delta 4 and Delta, holding point runway 039, EgyptAir 748.
Delta 4 Delta. Holding point 03 and right. And left side clear.
Etihad 63 goes after Qatar Airbus taxi now via Delta 5. You can continue Delta 5 81003.
Object number 1.
I have controls and coordination.
Cabin security captain back to object number 1.
I have controls and coordination.
Straight to the left captain.
Holding point 03 right. Calculate acceleration velocity is northbound on Alpha. EgyptAir, correction, Qatari 212 approaching Delta 4, give way to EgyptAir Boeing entering Delta via Delta 4.
Yes.
For number 1.
Fraction 809 whiskey, continue Kilo, Charlie, on Charlie you will follow me car guidance, stand Charlie 51. Kilo Charlie, Charlie 51,
Right side clear.
EgyptAir 748, continue on Delta, contact 118,625. Delta, contact 118,625,
EgyptAir 748, advise ready upon it.
Short briefing, Captain. Arm and nav, VNAV, initial ground altitude 7,000 feet, ground speed is 18, rate 1, assumed temperature is 45. Speed set 1550505, 3 plus 1 set and check, triple is 4.90.
Checked. For takeoff checklist.
Flaps,
1 green light.
check, stabilizer check,
4.9 units set.
check, bridge place is completed.
Getting my side.
Weather radar is my side.
Oh yeah, fully ready.
748, land upon west, 00.
Line up and wait, 03 right. Approaching is clear.
Check.
Runway clear. Center takes off.
Approaching 03 right.
Approaching 30 right.
Hello, Gatari 212, Nissan hold short. Hold short, Ferrari 212. Very much, okay, yeah.
And we're preparing to set up for takeoff.
Tour pernaste 330 aircraft passing 3,500 feet identified 12850 Sheridan. 12850
Parking brake set. Checked. You have controls, I have communication. Checked.
Paragraph 30 and 858
هنا بيقولوا لنا نكلم الديبارتشر.
858 initially hold short 03 right. Break EgyptAir 748 clear for takeoff 03 right 050 degrees 15 knots.
Considerable space.
Atari 212 confirmed fully ready.
Stabilize.
212 behind the rolling EgyptAir.
And one toga. Check.
Right behind. Atari 212.
Take a power set. Check.
And we're about to take off. Full power and full speed ahead.
80 knots. Check. Front roll. Check.
Once the aircraft reaches takeoff speed, she will just automatically jump in the air as the pilots pull back on the throttle. Once we reach V1, it's point of no return. You have to take off at all costs, no matter what. Any malfunction with the aircraft. Once you reach V1, you have to handle that situation in the air.
Center 48, 1,500 feet identified, 12950, goodbye.
12950, EgyptAir 741.
And 1.
Hello, Athena, EgyptAir 748, passing 2,200, running 7,000.
Aircraft is going to climb to about 35, 36,000 feet in the air.
110 unrestricted. Check. Service fees 210. Check.
Speed available.
Flaps up, please.
Up. Selected. Surface moving.
Check.
Up. No land.
After the check.
Engine beats.
On.
Back.
Wudu.
Landing gear.
Up and up.
Flaps.
Up and up.
After takeoff check is complete. Execute. And nav available. And nav.
35 feet.
Bank it to the right.
Zero climbing, lights inside. What's the rhythm outside? Target speed 295.
Check. Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Musa. I'm a first officer for EgyptAir Airlines. I've been working for EgyptAir for the past 6 years. I logged around 4,500 hours on the different types of aircrafts. When I joined EgyptAir, I did fly the Airbus 320, and later on we switched to this beautiful bird. It's a Boeing 737-800. I've been a lucky person because I joined the flag carrier company of Egypt, and we have different types of aircraft, so I get the chance to switch between different aircrafts every few years. This beautiful bird fly to different destinations between Europe, Africa, Middle East, and within 1-2 years I will be flying another bird, a larger one that flies to different continents, to different destinations. So this is a very short brief about myself, and thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Heba Darwish, the captain for today's flight. I joined EgyptAir 2005 as a co-pilot first at the 737-500. Then in 2011 I was promoted to the 737-800 as a captain. I fly now as a captain for 9 years, and EgyptAir gave me the chance of my life, of course. This aircraft, the 737-800, flies everywhere. Medium range, we fly maximum 7 hours. We go everywhere. Munich, Frankfurt, Paris, London, Mumbai, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Kuwait. We go everywhere, and I hope you enjoy your flight with us today, and come join us on EgyptAir.
Start briefing now.
Okay.
Expecting ILS runway 05 center. Chart index is 11-2. Localizer frequency India 04.
And I want to thank the pilots, captain, for
Final
introducing
score is 045
themselves.
my side, your side. Check. Checkpoint distance 5 nautical miles from India
Airline they're
04.
flying for is EgyptAir.
Not database. Checked. Cat 1 refer to the minimum. Minimum for Cat C aircraft is 631. Airport elevation is 467, Captain. Check. Wind approach climb straight ahead 2,000 feet. Turn to the right, climbing to reach if you are at 4,500 feet, and hold your as direct. Check. Transition level is flight level 60. 607, check. Highest obstacle, altitude is 975. Checked. Will be to the left from final approach. Expecting to establish at 2,500 feet from a distance 6.7 nautical mile from India Zulu Fox Charlie or 5.8 from Charlie Victor Oscar. Checked. Runway is supplied by high intensity approach light system class 2 coming from left and right. Minimum visibility required is 800 meters. Visibility is according to 86 6 miles. 6 kilometers. Expecting 05 center to vacate to the left by Tango 4 to join Tango after vacation. Checked. Descent checklist, please.
Pressurization landing altitude.
Auto per 150. Recall check.
Auto brake
2.
landing data verified minimum.
146, 631.
Check both sides approach briefing.
05 center expect, inshallah.
Descent checklist complete.
Please see that.
You have controls, I have communication.
I have controls.
One zero eight nine 045 697 for minimum.
69.
Mazboot
Mazboot.
1007. Descending lights.
Check.
Very my side.
Check.
Come on, VHF on.
I have controls and communications.
Cabin secure, back VHF on.
Check.
You have controls, I have communication.
I have controls, you have communications. Please select 240.
Check.
Approach checklist, please.
Altimeters.
1007 out of 5,840. 3 times descended, inshallah.
Approach checklist complete.
Thank you. We selected 230.
Checked.
Platform, please.
Speed available, one selected.
Check.
Surface moving.
Check.
Left at on.
Plus 5.
Speed available, plus 5 selected.
Check.
And moving.
Forward of R.
Left at
Heading
5.
080, check. One thousand feet to level.
1000 to level check.
Good picture. Approach second autopilot.
Go log glass
On the
door
glass.
capture.
Check.
Hold the localizer.
Check. Runway inside.
2500.
Clear to land runway 05 right. Down.
Gears down.
Flat 15.
Yeah.
Gear down, so we are preparing for a landing.
Advise taxi, please. Flat 30, please.
Speed available flaps. Search easily.
Land checklist, please.
Start searching.
Continue.
Speed brake on. Landing gear.
Down and low.
Flaps.
30 line.
Landing checklist complete. We are clean to land.
Please go. Clear mode on.
And now clear out.
Either go around to the bar flat 15, positive line gears up. And then with available engage and land. Check.
We should be on the ground
Checked.
momentarily.
Flat deck.
Check.
And again, this is EgyptAir. Two beautiful female pilots. It's going to be our captains for today, captain and co-captain.
Approaching minimum.
Until above check.
Minimum.
Minimum.
Yes, hello.
$50, $40, $30, $20, $10.
Speed brake up.
Check.
I have it.
Got it.
6,000 feet remaining.
And
5,000 remaining.
60 knots.
Hotel Lima and hold short for center. Pushing his gear on.
Check. Check.
Approaching 2-3 center.
Clear. Delta Bravo Golf 9.
Yes, Captain.
And as we taxi to the gates, we want to thank you for watching today's video. Support the channel. Like, share, and subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment
Center
below.
to the left.
Any questions you may have about any flight, you can post them in the comment area.
Captain, start with you.
And we thank you for flying with us.
To the right. Let's get to the right.
EgyptAir Airline.
What bus?
Golf 9. All lights off.
Lights off.
Check. Stop.
Checked.
Brake set.
Checked.
Shut down.
Articulation on. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today in the flight deck. We hope you enjoy the flight with us.
Text welcome to Aviation Accident Insights. Ever wonder what it's actually like to view a commercial flight from the front office? Today we are stepping inside a Boeing 737 cockpit to experience an incredible takeoff and landing with EgyptAir. Crewed by two highly skilled female pilots. Watch the precise crew resource management CRM flight deck checklists and beautiful runway views from the captain and first officer seats as they navigate this mid-range airliner. Community question: have you ever flown on an EgyptAir Boeing 737? What is your favorite airport approach in the world? Let us know in the comments below. Subscribe to Aviation Accident Insights for more cockpit views, airline flight breakdowns, and deep dives into commercial aviation. Welcome back to Aviation Accident Insights. Today, we are stepping away from the accident files to look at aviation safety and precision. Done perfectly, we are climbing inside the front office of an EgyptAir Boeing 737 at Cairo International Airport. Up front is an all-female crew, demonstrating the exact crew resource management in shop. Split-second coordination, required to handle a modern commercial airliner. Strap in as we take you from the taxiway down the runway, and right into the sky. This is what the pilots see. 7 cites the Boeing. 737 relies heavily on standard operating procedures SOPs, and a challenge and response checklist system to guarantee flight deck safety in a multi-crew environment. Commercial pilots do not look at a list while flipping switches. Instead, they execute muscle memory flows across the instrument panels and then use the physical checklist to verify that critical safety actions were completed successfully. Takeoff procedures in checklist 1, the before takeoff. Flow lining up on the runway as the aircraft is cleared to enter the active runway. The pilot flying PF and pilot monitoring PM configure the flight deck for immediate departure. Strobe lights and landing lights. Flip 2 on transponder. Set to TA, RA, traffic advisory, resolution advisory, cabin notification. Flight attendants are signaled to take their seats before takeoff checklist. Flaps set and verified, for example. Flaps 5 stabilizer trim. Set for takeoff weight MCP mode control panel altitudes, speeds. Set and verified takeoff briefing. Completed to takeoff execution roll engine stabilization. The PF advances thrust levers to roughly Baffinger Sisher to Baffinger Woosher. M1 and lets the CFM56 leap. Engines stabilize evenly. Toga engagement. The PF presses the 2 GA takeoff go around buttons on the thrust levers. The auto throttle takes over to drive power to the target. Takeoff setting 80 knots cal out. The PM calls out 80 knots. The PF verifies their own airspeed indicator and responds. Check to confirm cross instrument. Accuracy, V1 decision speed. The PM calls out V1. Beyond this speed, the takeoff cannot be aborted. The aircraft must fly even if an engine fails. VR rotation speed. The PM calls out rotate. The PF smoothly pulls back on the control yoke to establish a 15-degree pitch up 3 initial climb. After takeoff positive rate, when vertical speed shows a continuous climb, the PM announces positive rate. The PF responds gear up 0.400 feet AGL. Lateral navigation LNAV or heading mode is engaged flap retraction as airspeed passes minimum maneuver speeds. The PM retracts flaps systematically until clean wing configuration is achieved. After takeoff checklist, engine bleeds, packs, and the landing gear lever are moved to the OFF position. Landing procedures and checklist 1, descent and approach set up roughly 20 minutes before landing. The crew calculates braking metrics, programs the arrival ILS approach into the flight management computer FMC, and reviews the approach plate chart, approach checklist, altimeters, set and cross-check the throttle brakes, set level 2 or 3 depending on runway length, landing data, ref speed, checked and entered. 2. Final runway interception when approaching the runway path. Configuration is a staged countdown of speeds and flaps to slow the massive airliner. Flaps E-U. 15. Deployed progressively to create lift at lower speeds. Gear down. As the aircraft intercepts the electronic glide slope, the PF commands gear down. Flaps SIWL, final flaps Sancher or Sisher. Once final landing flaps are selected, the target speed drops to ref plus 5 knots, landing checklist. Engine start levers, continuous speed brake. Armed green light illuminated landing gear. Down, 3 green lights flaps. Green light, final detent set. Rollout deployment upon main wheel touchdown. The armed speed brakes pop up automatically to spoil lift thrust reversers. The PF pulls up the reverse thrust levers to aggressively slow down the airframe. Auto brakes manual. Auto brakes engage seamlessly. At 60 knots, reverse thrust is eased down to idle. The pilot takes manual braking control to exit onto the taxiway. In a multi-crew commercial flight deck like the EgyptAir Boeing 737, operations depend entirely on two distinct roles: the pilot flying PF, who physically flies the aircraft, or manages the autopilot, and the pilot monitoring PM, who handles radio communications, reads checklists, and monitors flight instruments, while the captain holds ultimate legal authority over the aircraft. Either the captain or the co-pilot. First officer can act as the pilot, flying for a given leg. Here is how their responsibilities divide during the takeoff and landing phases. Takeoff responsibilities: the captain's roll taxiing the aircraft. The captain physically maneuvers the aircraft on the ground using the nose wheel tiller, which is only located on the left side of the Boeing 737. Cockpit: the reject decision. Only the captain can make the executive decision to abort a takeoff roll. They keep their right hand physically placed on the thrust levers until the aircraft passes V-ETH speed. If an emergency occurs before V_1, the captain calls reject, pulls the thrust to idle, and applies maximum manual braking control handoff. If the first officer is the pilot flying, the captain steers the plane down the runway centerline using the nose wheel tiller until roughly 60 knots. Then says your controls, transferring physical manipulation to the co-pilot's role. First officer radio clearance. The co-pilot manages all communications with Cairo Tower and ground control, requesting taxi routing and the final takeoff clearance airspeed monitoring. As the PM during a captain's takeoff, the co-pilot monitors the instruments and firmly announces critical speed milestones: 80 knots, V1 and rotate. Mechanical execution upon the captain's command. The co-pilot physically moves the landing gear lever up and retracts the flap levers on schedule as the aircraft gains altitude. Landing responsibilities: the pilot flying can be captain or co-pilot. Manual control and autopilot management. The PF maintains physical control of the yoke or programs the autopilot flight director system FDS commanding duration. The PF does not touch the landing gear or flap handles. Instead, they verbally command the changes, saying flaps 1, gear down, flaps 15, or flaps 30, landing checklist. The flare and touchdown. The PF physically flies the aircraft through the final approach, executes the landing flare at 20 feet, pulls the throttles to idle, and deploys the engine thrust reversers upon touchdown. The pilot monitoring can be captain or co-pilot executing panel changes. The PM acts as the PF's hands on the center console when the PF commands a flap or gear change. The PM verifies the airspeed is safe for that configuration and physically moves the lever, reading the checklist. The PM looks at the physical checklist or electronic display, reads out the challenge, verifies the state of the cockpit panel, and speaks the response. For example, landing gear, down, 3 green, radio and navigation. The PM stays on the radio with air traffic control to acknowledge landing clearances, monitors the automated altitude callouts, 50, 40, 30, and monitors engine metrics during the touchdown rollout. In the early days of commercial aviation, Many accidents happen because of a steep hierarchy in the cockpit where first officers were too intimidated to question a captain's mistake. Today, what you are seeing on this EgyptAir flight is the pinnacle of modern safety. Crew Resource Management, or CRM, by strictly dividing the flight deck into a pilot, flying, and a pilot monitoring. The crew eliminates confusion. Every command must be cross-checked. Every switch movement must be verified. And both pilots hold equal authority to speak up if something isn't right. This absolute breakdown of roles is exactly why commercial aviation remains the safest form of travel on Earth. Phase 1. The takeoff roll left side text overlay captain. Captain left seat, keeping hand on thrust levers. Ready to instantly reject the takeoff if a critical warning light flashes before. VE right side. Text overlay co-pilot. First officer right seat, watching the airspeed tape. Pre-calculating cross-checks to call out. Washer knots and VE. Rotate exactly on time. Phase 2, post-takeoff. Climb left side text overlay captain. Pilot flying, manually flying the aircraft pitch and heading, while verbally commanding changes right. Side text overlay co-pilot. Pilot monitoring, acting as the hands of the flight deck, physically retracting landing gear and flaps only when commanded by the captain. Phase 3, final approach and landing left side text overlay. Captain, pilot flying, eyes locked on the runway threshold. Disengaging autopilot to manually flare, land, and pull the reverse thrust levers. Right side text overlay co-pilot. Pilot monitoring, reading the landing checklist out loud, verifying 3 green gear lights, and monitoring automated altitude readouts.